thank you very much. Hello, everybody. So I can only say in German, Guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren, and I'll now switch in English to to walk you through the digital transformation of the L'Oreal group. So we are here at the HANNOVER MESSE to find some partners, to build an ecosystem. Because what I'm going to tell you is that our consumers have changed, and they've changed a lot. And we have embarked in a digital transformation of the operation. So I'm Stephane Lannuzel. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of the operation of L'Oreal, and I'm together with Wojciech Kowalik, which is the Operation Director for Eastern Europe. So let me give you a few words about L'Oreal first. I hope that most of you know L'Oreal, mostly men, but a few women there, and we do products for men as well. So our mission is to bring beauty for all, and we have a unique concept of universalization, which is we are developing products and services that are tailored to your needs, to your requirements, and to your dreams. So that's our mission. A few numbers. So we are a global company, number one worldwide in the cosmetic industry, turnover above 26 billion, and we are present in more than 140 countries. But just as we are within the manufacturing part, we sell worldwide more than 7 billion products a year, and we sell that to 1 billion consumer. As part of we are part of the operations part of L'Oreal, which is the part of L'Oreal that is in charge of designing, developing, manufacturing, and distributing the products. And our mission is basically to develop, to design, to manufacture, and to distribute these products to support the growth of L'Oreal as a strong business ally. So we still are meeting very high standards in terms of quality, in terms of safety, in terms of security. A few figures, just for just that you know. So in the operation, we have more than 20,000 employees, 42 plants worldwide, and we are dealing with more than 45 brands. What is about, now that the context is set, what is about the digital transformation of the operations? And when you embark in a digital transformation for a big organization, L'Oreal, you have to be humble, and you have to listen to the people that have succeeded in the digital transformation. And what they tell us one thing, is what counts is really the customer experience. So here we have a lot of technologies, with so wonderful technologies, but our dream is really how we can mobilize this technology to enhance the consumer experience. And that's what we have embarked on. So I will only take a few minutes to give you some insights on our consumers. And what I want to tell you, we have about 1 billion consumers, and we have a quest of getting another billion consumers. And our consumers, they have changed. And we often say that they have changed more in the past 3 years than in the previous 100 years. They are more connected. They Google our products. They search online, they shop online, they leave reviews. Most of the time, they are more knowledgeable on the products than the BAs at the point of sales. They are also very, very demanding. They want good services. They want one-click shopping. And they are also very versatile. Just to give you some example of one set of our consumers, which are what we call the millennials, so the younger portion. So the millennials are the consumers of tomorrow here in Europe, but in Asia, it's the consumers of today. 94% of them, they have a smartphone. They do 62% of their shopping online, and they are ready to switch brand for 62% of them if they didn't get the right service. So they are very, very demanding. So, and basically beyond that, they still want a brand, they still want the product, but what they want is services, and they want good services. And on top of that, what they want to live is they want to live some experience, online or offline, and they want to showcase, live on Periscope, on the social network. They want to showcase their experience. And here I'm taking the example of NYX, which is a brand that we have recently acquired and that was developed on the West Coast. And just to give you some what is happening, we are opening boutique here in Europe. And one of them was in Brussels that we opened on the 23rd of December. It was freezing cold in Europe at that time. And when we opened that boutique in Brussels, we had teenagers starting to wait for the opening at the boutique at 2 o'clock in the morning. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, when the boutique opened, we had 4 hours of queues. So just to let you know that the world is changing. And if somebody had told me like 3 years ago, then when we will open a makeup boutique, that we will have 4 hours of queue, that I would never have believed. So that was a few words on what we face as L'Oreal, which is the consumers are changing and the consumers are more demanding. So then you are asking the question, why is he talking about consumers and marketing and we are here in the art of technology and manufacturing? Because our strong belief is that the only way for us to meet these new consumer requirements is to leverage the technology. And my job at L'Oreal in the operations is really to mobilize all the wonderful technology that we've seen to be able to address these new consumers' requirements. And what I'm telling to the teams is, go ahead, look at these technologies with 2 things in mind. What does it bring to the consumers? What does it bring in terms of data? Because data is really key, and winning the battle of data is key for us. So the type of technology that we are looking at is, you know them all, IoT, cobots, virtual and augmented reality, 3D printing, and everything that goes around data and machine learning. Each of these technology is not a revolution per se, but it's when you combine the technology, then you get a true revolution. And I will just address a few things. For us, it's a big change in paradigm. We engineers, we have all been educated in the scale effect world. Since I've started to work, we went for big plants, large batch, make to stock. And that was the manufacturing strategy of the past. And we also did some offshoring. But now with consumers being more demanding, the world being more volatile, and the time to market reducing, we need to be more agile. So what I'm telling to the guys is that we need to leverage the technology to change our plant. And I want the plant director to be very proud when he has an agile factory. Not the biggest tank, not the biggest vessel, an agile factory. Flexibility is very key, and we are working on using the new technology to make things to needs and not things to stocks. We will still have big factories that will make tons of shampoos, and there will be still some commodity products, but we will also have more and more personalized products, and we need to make sure that we leverage the technology for that. The other change of focus for us is we were a product-oriented company. And what counts now is services. People are not interested in buying coloration products. In the end, in their art, in their dreams, what they want to have is beautiful and shiny hair all the year. So we need to think services. Pay-per-use, subscription, and that's the focus, not bringing a products to the consumers. And in the aeronautics industry, in the car industry, they have started before us, and we need to do the same thing in the CPG industry. And the other things is data. Data is key. We are coming from a world where our job was simple. We were a B2B company selling pallets to Carrefour or Walmart. Now we open 1 boutique per day in the world. We do 20% of the turnover online by 2020. So we have more and more direct interaction with the consumers. So we need to gather these data, to track the data, to make sure that we use them to optimize our supply chain. So as you can see, it's a fully transversal transformation. It all starts with understanding the consumer needs. And I will keep repeating that today. Consumer is the key thing. The Industry 4.0, it's not something for the technological sake. It's here to bring new services, new products, new opportunities to win some consumers. And that's what is driving me. But it goes across all the supply chain. Supply chain, manufacturing, sourcing, and suppliers. And I'm working with our key suppliers, and I'm asking them, what are you doing about technology? What type of technologies are you using to be more flexible, to be quicker on the market, and to help us in that transformation? And the way I see the transformation, it's not a pure incremental transformation. It's not something where we are looking at our existing facility and designing the facility of tomorrow. We have to start from a blank sheet with new partners and with a new ecosystem. And that's where we came here, to find some partners to help us on that. We have structured our transformation around 5 key priorities. The first one is accelerated development. It's an easy one. We need to basically come from a world where we are 18 months to come from an idea to a product, to a world where we have only 6 months. We are in the fast fashion industry for the makeup. Things are changing quickly. So we are looking at 3D printing, we are looking at fast prototyping, we are looking at digital twins of our real world to be able to come quicker with the products. The second thing we are looking at is connected products. What if we put chips on our products and then we can track them throughout the supply chain, we can authenticate them, we can fight gray market, we can optimize the retail experience of the consumers, and we can also talk to the smartphone of the consumers. So that's also an area where we are trying to leverage the technology. The supply chain is going through a revolution for us. As I said, we are opening 1 boutique per day, and we will do 20% of our turnover on internet by 2020. So basically, we need to get ready to be working in this omni-channel world where a consumer, will buy online and it will get delivered in the shop. So basically, we are coming from a very sequential supply chain to a very chaotic supply chain, and we need to adapt to that and leveraging the technology. With Wojciech, we will focus on 2 priorities today, which is the personalization and the agile factories. And I will start with the personalization. Personalization is a key trend in terms of consumer trends. It's in all industry, in the food industry, in our industry in cosmetics, it's in the mass market, but it's also in the luxury division. So it's a growing trend, and you need to get ready to adapt. People, they want their products. They want their personalized products. And just to give you one example, we are developing some machines at point of sale to produce foundations. So to produce cosmetic products at point of sale. We have already opened 11 point of sales in the US. It's coming to Europe. And you can get your foundation matching your exact skin tone manufactured at point of sale. So that's the new world. Factories are getting smaller and entering the point of sale, entering the e-commerce world. And how did we do that? Not looking at our big factories, but starting from a blank sheet, working with a startup, working with a different out-of-the-box approach. Just to give you one example, in a normal factory, we prepare the bulk, we mix the bulk, and then we fill the pack. Here, we fill everything in the pack, and then we shake the pack, and we get the cosmetics products. So it's a totally different approach. And in personalization, you really have to think out of the box and to leverage all the technology. So this is the type of mini factories that we have to develop in that new world, but still with the same standard of safety, quality, traceability, because the consumers, they want their own personalized products, but they still want the good quality products. And just to give you also some hints on the type of world we live, when we launched that in the US, we used social media. So we made a small video on BuzzFeed showing that little factory, and within 24 hours, we had 35 million views on the social network, and more than 50 million in 1 week. So the leveraging of this type of initiative is quite is tremendous. So I will now let Wojciech talk about the normal factory that we have.
Dankeschön, Stephane. Es tut mir leid, ich spreche nicht Deutsch, so let me continue in English. So I'm Wojciech Kowalik, Head of Operations for Eastern Europe Zone. I would like to take you through real factories, like Stephane just said. So just to remind you, as Stephane already mentioned, we have 42 factories around the world, organized according to exactly the same rules in terms of safety, environment, of course, and quality. However, each of these sites has its own specificity. From very mass market, as Stephane said, commodity product, through close to the pharmaceutical factories, production environment for the factory producing for the active cosmetic division, finishing by very sophisticated sites producing luxury products. So it's supposed to be the same industrial world, but in fact it's absolutely not the case. And most of this factory already started this digital transformation using all this technology available under the name Industrie 4.0. So I would like to take you through two examples only. So let's go firstly to Lassigny, to France, to big luxury plant. Very complicated plant, a lot of SKUs, a lot of formats, very short production batches. So the team had the challenge how to pass through one production line over 30 formats, still keeping very good performance and optimizing changeover time. So they decided to go for a blank page approach. So they asked our usual supplier to do it, and in the same time, the new partners proposing Industrie 4.0 solutions. So all combination of these solutions gave us absolutely fantastic results. So today the line is able to welcome more than 100 formats. We still have very good performance in terms of OEE. We have 20% of losses saved, and all of that spending half of the capex. And the last but not least, the changeover time was divided by 12. So it's just for you the opportunity and the example how far we can go with the new technologies. And now let's go to Poland. The second example is from my home factory, because I'm a Polish guy. The team had a really big issue to solve in terms of ergonomics on one of our production lines. The problem was lack of space. Lack of space, a relatively high capex to suspend using traditional way of doing things. So they decided, like our French colleagues, to go for 4.0 solutions, and they found a partner proposing the COROBOT solutions. So COROBOT installed on this production line. The operators called this COROBOT Roberta. So let's say Roberta is carrying 2 tons of product in terms of instead of our operators. Firstly, secondly, we spent 80% capex less, and of course Roberta is working without any physical separation on our production line. For us, it's a super opportunity to go beyond, to go further, and to think how we can remove all the physical tasks from the lines. And secondly, it's absolutely fantastic learning experience for us, because you can imagine we had to adapt our super strict worldwide safety system to the new reality. And by the way, we learn tremendously about the new behavior, new interaction between machine and human. And last but not least, this project helped us to integrate on this production line disabled people, which before was absolutely not possible. So, as I explained, we already at L'Oreal started to apply this new solution. So we started the 4.0 journey, and we really ask you to help us in this revolution, because we need new partners to go beyond. Stephane?
Yeah. Thank you, Wojciech. So I will come to the conclusion as the time is limited, and I want to take some question if you have. But what I want you to remind is that this is a true revolution, and it's a challenging, but it's a very enjoying for us, for the team's journey. It's a journey that will transform the total operations value of Loai, starting from the consumers up to the suppliers. And we are passionate about it. And we want to do that in a different way than we did before. We want to do that in a more open way. We want to do that in an accelerated way, working with you guys, with people from the technology, with startups to address these new needs. And what I often say is, it's called Industrie 4.0. And for us, being engineers, I think it's a real chance that it's only the fourth revolution since it started. And we are living live a revolution. And I think our generation, we are the one that needs to take that need to take the new technology, that needs to combine the new technologies, but with one thing in mind. It's not for being proud of having used the technology. It's for being proud to have developed new business model, new services, and to have gained new consumers. And that's what I want. If you have to retain one thing from what we've said, is this: is how can the new technology ease the way of the consumers and make our life, all of us consumers, more pleasant and more enjoyable. So I will thank you for your attention. I'll try it in Deutsch. Vielen Dank für deine Aufmerksamkeit. Sorry for the pronunciation. And if you have any questions, we can take them now or later on. Thank you very much for your kind attention.